have this company that has an understanding of how
Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
It is 19 hours 20 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. Namaste to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Glenn Lall Show for today, the 6th day of October. And we thank you so much for joining us on traditional radio and, of course, via our social media platforms. This evening, as usual, you should know the drill by now. Mr. Lall will make his presentation, after which we will take your questions and, of course, read your messages here this evening. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to the man of the moment, Mr. Glenn Lall, who will make his presentation. Sir, namaste, over to you.
Namaste. For me and my house, I will get understanding. Understanding of how things work. I love that guy. I understand a little of how things work in this country. Our government we have, the leaders we have, are ignoring prospecting license agreements in which we are losing billions of US dollars. And while they're turning a blind eye to that issue, they now shame to tell the Guyanese people, especially the sugar workers, them shutting down the industry. Oh yes. Buddha teachings say, honestly, I don't have time to hate people who hates me because I'm too busy loving the people who loves me. I love that.
Beautiful.
Yes. I honestly don't have time to hate people who hates me because I'm too busy loving the people who loves me. The cook that helps me out at home, foot was injured when she had to run from the gunman that snatched her handbag. And the other cook named Christine, she forgot to put salt in the curry and my whole family went to do a COVID test. There was no taste in the food. Not me, I didn't go. I put salt in my food. Oh gosh. I have been asking y'all to send me photos showing your support, demanding that all these foreign contracts be changed. What happened, guys? What happened? I just said namaste to you. I feel like taking it back. Because y'all sleeping. Or are you guys gonna wait until everything is gone and then say, it's better to listen to Glenn Lall and support Glenn Lall's fight? It might be too late, guys. Just take out the photographs, hold a piece of paper that says change the contract without a mask on your face and send it. WhatsApp it to us. 622-2222 or 624-6456. Send those photos every day. I want to use it in the newspapers to show the world that we cannot and will not sit back idle and allow the foreigners to live like kings and queens with our wealth. So uncle and auntie, wake up and start sending those photographs. Let me put it in the newspapers so that the world can see. We need a change. We need our fair share. Before I begin tonight's program, let me give you guys a quick update about what took place in court today on the matter in which my lawyers filed seeking time to pay the $30-something million judgment awarded to Winston Brasington. I told you guys he get more than half already. The matter was put off for Friday because the lawyer for Winston Brasington, Timothy Jonas, had a high court matter today, and that clashed with the case. And Justice Harnanan says high court matters takes precedence. Today, too, I was informed that the case to wind up the Kaieteur news is set for Friday with the same judge. So we will update you guys in the evening as to the outcome of both cases. Let me now get going with our program. Let me say this first. Your children is getting poorer as the day goes by. Your future is at stake each passing day. And all of you believing in the leaders you have, giving your life to them, not knowing the deals they are making behind your backs. You're giving your life for them and they're making deals behind your backs. We cannot be passive, this passive, when leaders have betrayed us repeatedly, not when our children are involved. I am not going to Wakanam to live anymore. I changed my mind, like how the leaders changing their mouths. I am going to Legwan to live instead. Nobody dare lies, cheat or steal, because no politician came from that island. It's peaceful, and you enjoy the ocean breeze better than Wakanam. Because where I'm living on Wakanam, it's on the western side. And Legwan, most of the population is living on the eastern side of that island. So they get the full breeze. Namaste again to all of you, in and out of Guyana. Let me begin by saying, no countries pays oil companies to search for oil. That's a trick the oil people take. Guyana made a terrible blunder when Janet Jagan gave ExxonMobil a prospecting license to look for oil in Guyana. In that licensing agreement, Guyana agreed to pay all the cost if they find oil. Nobody checked on Exxon as to what and how they were spending money. The next thing you know, Exxon handed us a bill for $460 million before 2015. Them said that money they spent when they were searching for the oil. We give Exxon a blank check and they're okay to cash it. Yes, uncle, that's what we did. It is better to say that we give them a big book full of checks and they are beginning to cash them one by one. Guess who's paying? Me and you. Guyana is paying. paying for the oil. And that is only for prospecting, searching for oil, uncle. Then between 2015 and 2018, we got another 500 billion that was thrown to us, still looking for oil. That's almost $1 billion Guyana dollar before we start pumping oil. We got on our backs. We did not check it or verify that amount. We didn't. We're at a stage where we have to pay it. And I'm certain ExxonMobil already taking that money out from our oil presently, shortening your children's share. Like I said, no country pays for this cost, only Guyana. Suriname, Brazil, Venezuela, nor Colombia, none pays this type of cost, and this cost continues. I want you to listen to me carefully, guys. This cost continues in the Stabroek block as I'm speaking here now. Let's fast track this aspect of this oil business. They are continuing to dig or drill more and more looking for oil onto now. And all the bills is being thrown at us to pay like idiots without verifying anything. The money now is not coming out in the millions, but in the billions of American dollars. Another check to be filled in and presented to us for payment. Are we morons or doormats? Exxon done drill about 80 holes. I've said this over and over. In the 600 oil blocks them have, that we already got about 8 billion US dollars. Check after check. And Guyana is the bank paying it. And it wouldn't bounce because it's coming out from the oil. We have to pay them. And that will continue for life. The life of the Stabroek block as the months and the years goes by. It's lots and lots of more holes to be drilled all over the Stabroek block, which will eat up your share. Which will eat up your share, your children's share of the oil money in the billions. That arrangement in the prospecting license can be changed overnight. Uncle and auntie, let me repeat this thing. That arrangement can be changed overnight. This is not the contract I am talking about, guys. This is the prospecting agreement I am talking about. It has nothing to do with the contract. This is an agreement signed separate from the contract. I hope you guys following me clearly. So please don't get mixed up with what I'm saying. One stroke of the pen can erase this robbery of our children's future, in which we can bring in money to give each household $1 million per month. You hear me, Miss Harris? One stroke of the pen can change that, can stop this nonsense. Yeah. The man running this oil sector, his name is Bharat Jagdeo, a very, very smart man who understands this whole thing better than me and my staff and even you out there. But he is turning a blind eye to this important mistake they have made years ago. The coalition could have also changed it, but they were either blind to it or just don't give a damn. We are paying Exxon billions for go in my backyard to search for gold. That is what they're doing. You're paying a man to go in your pond for look for fish. You're paying a man for come find diamond and gold in your rice field. Who does things like this, man? Like I said, no country did that. Why Guyana did it and not correcting it? This is the crux of the matter. Guyana did it, and they see what is coming to us, and they are not correcting it. Man, let me repeat. It's not the contract I am talking about here, uncle. Not the contract I am talking about, auntie. I am talking about an arrangement in which Guyana agreed to pay the cost for looking for oil. They find oil, and we are still continuing to pay Exxon them to search for more oil. And every hole them bore down in the ocean floor, we pay, whether they find or don't find. You got to love these business people we have running this oil sector. Where you say, Miss Harris? You got to love our opposition leaders too. What you say, uncle? You love them too. Government or opposition, how do you guys want to put up with them? Trust them. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Look the other day with them multi-billion-dollar troubles we had, and more billions in troubles we're going to put ourselves in with this prospecting license. If I do a fraction of that, y'all would want to hang me. You God never forgive me. And I never cheated Guyanese out of 1 cent. But y'all forgiving y'all politicians, allowing the oil companies to rob we every day. Guys, let's move a little faster tonight, man. The vice president said he's not changing or touching anything with Exxon deal or the Stabroek block. Don't ask me why. I am dumbfounded with that decision. Many people ask me, why is he not changing the contract? He himself said, uncle, that he has problems with the contract. Mr. Jagdeo himself said he has problems with the contract, but he is not doing anything about it. What kind of leader is this man? What kind of a protector this man is towards our assets, towards our wealth? Let me ask the vice president a question. Do you have any investment in the oil sector out there? Make you don't want to change or renegotiate this contract, Mr. Vice President? You should answer that question. The people of this country, including me, wants to know that. Because I know you're an extremely brilliant and smart man. Let's move on from the prospecting license on the 600 oil blocks given to Exxon. From the Exxon block to the other blocks that has the same arrangements like Exxon prospecting license. Do you hear me, Ms. Harris? Yeah. Let me repeat. I'm moving away from Exxon block to the other oil blocks that has the same arrangement in the prospecting license. We are footing every cent they spend searching for oil too in those oil blocks. CGX will get three oil blocks free. The Berbice, Quarantine and Demerara oil blocks don't drill a dry hole in the Quarantine block and hand us a bill for $155 million. I am repeating this because I want you guys to keep this in mind, because there are lots of 155 million to come, which we are not supposed to pay. And the government is proud to say they are going to drill more. You hear that, guys? We have reported that just the other day in the Kaieteur news. We have not yet checked or verified if any hole was drilled. But that's another 155 million sitting on our backs. What is that doing to our children's belly, uncle and auntie? CGX 3 oil block is almost big like Exxon Mobil. What going on here, man? Can somebody tell me something? You're allowing these people to drill and drill and drill, searching for oil and just throwing bills at us? The one whole money, uncle, can build the Demerara Harbour Bridge. And we don't have to go to borrow money, pay interest on it. The $8 billion US dollar we have racked up already with Exxon, with the dry and wet holes, could have paid off with 2.2 billion debt we have. And Guyana would have already been on the road to Dubai with salaries tripled all across the sector. Money would have also been coming to your homes in checks. But, let's move on. Let's move on. We are now being told that they are ready to drill in the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. You hear me, man? Let me go. We move from Exxon block to the Quarantine, Berbice and Demerara block, allowing them to drill and send money to us. Wow. Now let's move to the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. Yes. Now they're going to drill in them 2 oil blocks too. With the same agreement in the prospecting license arrangement. You hear me? So that's 3, Exxon 4, and this 2 is 6 oil blocks now. Wow. Our government, our leaders, allowing these people to start drilling now like them heading good, throwing each hole they drill in excess of $100 million American dollars on our backs. Yep. What will you get for your children, man? If this thing continue like this, what do you think gonna happen? Yeah. And I'm not talking about any more oil blocks yet. Yeah. I'm only talking about the 6 now. The Kaieteur and the Kanji, uncle and auntie. The blocks that we don't know who it was given to until now. Remember? Both were signed away just before the 2015 election. President Ramotar said he asked Robert Prasad if everything is okay. If everything is okay with it. And he told him yes. So he signed it off. He did say he never meet the owners. And Robert Prasad said he never meet the owners too. He only met with the lawyers who signed on behalf of the owners. I can't remember the names or which form they're working with. Wow. I like to repeat these things, man. And some of you who said, Glenn Lall, you're repeating things, you don't have to listen to my program, please. And don't hate me, because I will love the people who love me. I ain't going to waste time with you guys. If your brother, best friend, even if your father did that to a family property, you would never want to have anything to do with him. Not true, man? Yep. Yeah. I love this country and its leaders. Uncle and auntie, aren't you laughing like me, man? Huh? Let's move on. And don't get distracted. With the 2 oil blocks, it don't give away, man. Forget about it. But what you're about to hear is more sickening to your ears. Last week, the government announced the owners of the Kaieteur and Kanji ready to drill 12 holes in the Kaieteur and 12 holes in the Kanji. That is where this oil sector gets more sickening to all of us. We are allowing another set of people who get the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks free. And now our leaders happy that they are ready to drill holes, to throw bills at us without changing the agreements with the prospecting license. Let me ask you this, Uncle. Are you going to close your eyes, cark your ears, and shut your mouths to this continued lawlessness coming from these leaders? Bharat Jagdev, the vice president, told the world that he will change, renegotiate the rest of the oil blocks so that this nation can benefit from their oil wealth. Cark your ears and y'all gonna suck salt. But know this, a big $1 billion bill coming from them same 2 oil block that they gave away. Mr. Jagdev is on record in which he said he will look back at all the rest of the oil blocks and change them so Guyana can get a better deal. To date, we have heard nothing from this vice president about his move to do what he said. Like I said, we have already racked up over $8 billion American dollars from the Stabroek block for them dry and wet holes. Again, this is something no country pays for. And Jagdev not even correcting that with the Stabroek block. Not the contract I'm talking about, Uncle. Please don't get confused or mix up. I am talking about fixing the one loophole in the prospecting license, which can be done with a stroke of the pen by our vice president. He is playing dumb and blind to it. Now we are told that they are moving to drill 24 holes in the Kaieteur and Kanji, and we will foot the bill in the billions. Why is he not saying a word as to this dangerous situation we find ourselves in by changing those prospecting license arrangements? Why, Guyana? Why? Like I said, please don't get mixed up or confused. This is not a contract Glenn Lall talking about here tonight. This is the license to search for oil. It's an agreement, and we have to pay every cent they spend. I want you guys to hear in your own ears what he, the vice president, had to say, man. Could you play his video? Play that video for me. And listen carefully, Uncle and Auntie, what he had to say. Go ahead and play.
The PSA is not a PSA that the PPP would have supported or given approval. We have commented publicly under the circumstances in which that PSA was hurriedly signed. Truckman was advised not to sign it. He got Exxon partly drafted the PSA. They handed it to him, and he was advised not to sign it, and he did sign it. And then the Global Witness said, when he was questioned by Global Witness in some newspapers, he said he was told to sign it. He has not mentioned who told him to sign it up to today. But the contract has several features that he would wish to change. Now, we have made it clear that because we don't want litigation, and that because there is such an environment some sanctity of contracts, that we are not renegotiating the PSA for the Stabroek block. But when Exxon comes along for a PSA for Kaieteur and Kanji blocks that they're operators for, then they will have an entirely different PSA, a model PSA that we're working on now that will correct the deficiencies of the PSA that the Stabroek block had.
Wow. You heard what he said, Uncle and Auntie? He didn't agree. Let me give you back his words, man. What the PSA that he's talking about is the exam contract, Auntie and Uncle. And he said it this way. The PSA is not a PSA that the PPP would have supported or given approval to. We have commented publicly under the circumstances in which that PSA was hurriedly signed. His words. His words, Auntie and Uncle, not mine. Trotman was advised not to sign it because Exxon partially drafted that PSA. They handed it to him and he was advised not to sign it. And he did sign it. And then the Global Witness said, when he was questioned by Global Witness and some newspapers, that he was told to sign it. He did not mention who told him to sign it up to today. But the contract has several features that he would wish to change. Wow. Now, we have made it clear that because we don't want a litigation, and that is because there is such an environment, some sanctity of contract, that we are not negotiating the PSA for the Stabroek block. But when Exxon comes along for a PSA for Kaieteur and Kanji blocks that they are the operators for, then they will have an entirely different PSA, a model PSA that we are working on now that would have corrected the deficiencies of the PSA that the Stabroek block had. I love these guys. I love them. I have to explain what this guy is saying to you people. I really have to explain it. He said the contract is not a contract the PPP would support or give approval to. And the man said he says so publicly under the circumstances which the contract was hurriedly signed. Well, Mr. Vice President, if you know it was hurriedly signed and how you never supported it or given approval, why it is not being changed now, Mr. Vice President? Who is holding your hands back? Or you don't have a pen? Anybody got a gun to your head? Or a cutlass to your neck? No, man, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I seeing you every day, whining and dining all over the place. You went to Borbees the other day, and you were very happy talking to the cane cutters. Why didn't you tell them the dilemma they face is because of you not changing the contract? That's what you should tell those people. You yourself say the contract was prepared by ExxonMobil and Raphael Trotman signed it. And you don't know who instructed him to sign it. Let me ask, what that has to do with you, Vice President, in which now you are in charge? You are in command. You heading the sector. The president put you there, which I don't believe. which I don't believe. I believe you put yourself there because you are in command. And three-quarters of Guyana knows that. So what are you waiting for, Mr. Jagdeo? Huh? You should come out and tell the nation this thing, man. Or let me ask this question. What are you getting personally out of this deal that you don't want to change it? If you don't want to tell me, you can tell the nation quietly. I think everybody wants to know that answer. Because when a man starts to duck and hide like this, he has something to hide, many things to protect. You talked about Global Witness, Mr. Vice President. Global Witness also interviewed Robert Prasad, in which he told them that he never met or see the people who he gave the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks to. Did you ask Robert Prasad? Or did you ask him anything about that? You should tell the nation that too. You didn't. You did not. On to now this nation waiting for you guys to come clean with that sign away and nobody hearing anything. Your very first press conference you held when you came in office, you talked about those two oil blocks, how it will be, how you will investigate them. Could you tell us where is that investigation? Tell the nation. You yourself, Vice President, said the contract has several features that you wish to change. Why aren't you doing it? Because of litigation and sanctity of contract? Come on, man. You can do better than that. All of you can do better than that. No contract, terms and condition supersedes the constitution of this country. So why not change it? But he don't want litigation. No litigation.
First time for everything.
You guys give away we oil blocks free with a one-sided, lopsided deal and telling this nation that you don't want litigation in the courts? Well, let me say this, Mr. Vice President. I want litigation, and I, Glenn Lall, with the help of some lawyers, will have litigation in the courts on this subject matter.
Amen.
I am moving to the courts very soon. Let me say this, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. Stop using that word sanctity. Sanctity is for fools and idiots. And the Guyanese people are not.
Yep.
We are not. Definitely not me. But you not renegotiating this contract with Exxon, but you're going to do it with the others to come. What kind of thing this, man? What kind of things am I really hearing, Auntie and Uncle? You guys hoard him for yourself. You hoard him with your own ears. I know a few people who does hear people through their eyes. I am one of them. I just have to look at some people. Trust me. And I know the games they're playing with their words. Man, sir, please play back that video for me. Play it back. I want you guys to listen to it back again. But
The PSA is not a PSA that the PPP would have supported or given approval. We have commented publicly under the circumstances in which that PSA was hurriedly signed. Troutman was advised not to sign it. He got Exxon partly drafted the PSA. They handed it to him, and he was advised not to sign it, and he did sign it. And then the global witness said, when he was questioned by global witness in some newspapers, he said he was told to sign it. He has not mentioned who told him to sign it up to today. But the contract has several features that he would wish to change. Now, we have made it clear that because we don't want litigation, and that because there is in such an environment some sanctity of contracts, that we are not renegotiating the PSA for the Stabroek block. But when Exxon comes along for a PSA for Kaieteur and Kanji blocks that they're operators for, then they will have an entirely different PSA, a model PSA that we're working on now that will correct the deficiencies of the PSA that the Stabroek block had.
Guys, you heard him for the second time. In his own words. You see the games these guys playing? And you see how he put forward it? He blaming Trotman.
Yes.
You think these guys really looking out for y'all interest, man?
No.
Exactly.
Huh?
No.
Are you got anything to get there?
No.
Nothing to get there.
Course.
You guys got to read through the line why you guys have nothing to get there.
Yep.
They're all in it. They're all in it together.
Yep. Sharing
They're not looking for your interests. They're looking out for their own interests. Sans to take contract. But sans to take contract. You know, guys, all of you should be ringing a bell.
Yes.
Get a bell, pick up a bell.
Yes.
And everywhere they go, ring it, knock it, bang, bang, bang.
Right.
And say, change the contract.
Now.
Every one of them.
Now.
Not Jack Dave alone. Let me tell you guys, I used to do it in Stabroek Market many, many years ago. Ask any one of the stallholders. From the time a thief man enter any one of the gate, whether the east, the north, or the south gate, the first stallholder would ring a bell, bang, bang, bang. And then every stallholder keep watching down the aisle to see the thief man.
Yes.
And as soon as the other one see, he knock bang, bang, bang.
Yes.
And then if any aisle they turn through, if they turn right or turn left,
Yes.
was bang, 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 until Lall hear it.
Yes.
And when Lall hear it, the commissioner of police, they give me 2 policemen of my choice. Man, if you see run out the market, I tell you all, I build the lockups in Stabroek Market with my personal money. The whole market was clear. Even outside the market was clear. This is what we have to do all over again to these leaders. When you see them ring a bell,
Yes.
and say, where is the contract? Why aren't you changing my contract?
Yes. Keep your
Why aren't you giving me my rightful share that God Almighty bless us with? That's what you have to confront these people with. Until now, you don't know the interest rate you're paying. They don't take the Tom Zanzillo, the export in New York, says by 2025, 42 billion American dollars ExxonMobil walking away with. And Guyana will get 3 billion. Come on, man. Come on. The man said just the other day, every year we're losing 340 million American dollars from Exxon taxes. And we barely getting $340 million on our share. Is what going on in this land, brother?
ring the bell.
What's going on in this land, uncle? Y'all go out there and get a bell, ring it in the mandirs, ring it in the churches, ring it in the masjids.
Yes.
I am telling you guys, Your future is at stake.
Yes.
And your children's and grandchildren's future at stake. You guys heard him yourself, bad-talking and complaining how Trotman signed the contract in a hurry and how he would never have signed such a contract. You guys see the blame game? Pitting one against the other.
Yes.
And you guys believing in them.
Yes.
You see what he's trying to do there? It's pure evil. Putting people against each other. Rather than correcting the issue which we can benefit. Our pockets can be filled. And all we can have a good life and a beautiful future. He's running from the issue. You guys listen to him, or you want me to play it back again, man?
Play it again.
Huh?
Play it again.
He went somewhere else and talk about how we are not going to touch the Exxon deal. But he will do everything. Listen it, man. You heard him. He will do everything he can to change the rest of the oil blocks to benefit the Guyanese people. Mr. Vice President, I have just talked about the prospecting license, not the contract. You hear me, Guyana? I just spoke about the prospecting license, not the contract. The prospecting license which Exxon and the others have. The same ones that you guys say will change, that you say you will change to benefit Guyana. All of them began drilling, which billions will be thrown at us. When will you correct and change that, Mr. Jagdeo? Not the contract, these prospecting license. A stroke of a pen. You don't have to seek, you don't have to ask anybody to do that. You can do it tonight. You can do it 15 minutes from now. Like I said, Uncle and Auntie, this is not a contract. I am talking about a prospecting agreement being corrected now before any one of them start drilling more holes. Isn't this part of your words, Mr. Jagdeo, to ensure that Guyana gets more from its wealth, man? That's what you said. Like I said before, Auntie and Uncle, nobody pays. Nobody pays any oil company to search for oil. When will this change, Uncle? I rest my case, Auntie and Uncle. I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen. It's all over to you, Mr. Jagdeo, Mr. Ali, Mr. David Granger, and Mr. Harmon. It's over to you guys. The people of this country want to benefit from them oil. And there is more than enough. We are the second largest oil producing nation per capita right now. The reserves we have put us to that status, guys. Change it. I have said many times that Gaisuku, this is another topic I want to touch on, Uncle. Many times I said Gaisuku is a Ponzi scheme that the PPP has been running, using a few sugar workers as bait. And all Guyana was buying that crap. I even show y'all that the money they're throwing in the industry, year go, year come, can pay all the sugar workers to stay home and we can save those billions to build roads or increase people's salaries. It does not make sense to plant cane to produce sugar anymore. We can't compete with the world market, Guyana. It just doesn't make sense. The coalition abandoned some of their estates. The PPP come in and try to revive it, saying, what is sugar workers going to do? And all Guyana buy that crap. Now, you tell me, would you pay people to cut cane? Would you pay people to cut cane? And when you sell the sugar cane, when you sell the sugar, you lose money? Miss Harris? Who does things like this, man? Eh? What business is that? You lose 2 times. You pay the people to cut the cane, and then you lose on the sugar. It's better to pay the people if you want to help them out and let them stay home than to put them to go work, waste the people time in the hot sun for lose 2 times. But like I said, uncle and auntie, Gaisuku was a Ponzi scheme for them since day one. Billions went there that none of them can account for. Now the vice president is singing a different tune. He went to Burbies the other day, met the sugar workers, didn't tell them he's a dead and rotten donkey he been trying to bring back alive. He told the people, them, how the previous government, hear the game again, how the previous government, the coalition government who messed up the industry and got it where it is today. He didn't come out clear and tell the sugar workers that he's forced to shut it down now. No, he didn't. He's ashamed to say it. Now he wants to come over like a shining armor, saying he will give the sugar workers 250 grand each as a one-time payoff. And in the meantime, he will see if they can get a 1-week work here and there on some special program to upkeep them families. He well and cussed down and blamed the opposition for causing the problems the sugar industry face now. You believe this thing? I had to laugh. It's a dead and rotten donkey, Mr. Vice President, and you guys know it. You guys only revive it to scheme off the cash. Y'all say y'all pouring into it every month. Uncle and auntie, the Vice President said I lose $4 billion Guyana dollar to flooding. That is 20 million American dollars. Hear that? And how they pump 14 billion again since they go into office. Wow. 14, that was 70 million US. So it's 70 and 20 is 90 million American dollars. They say, pump into Gaisuku in 1 year. May I ask you, Mr. Vice President, where is that $14 billion and what it was spent on? I need to hear you, man. Let me ask you, Ms. Harris, can you help me that? Uncle and auntie, you guys can help me? Now you're telling us how the government will give the workers 250 grand each? That is what I've been telling you guys all along. That is what y'all should have have done in the first place. Or pay the people to stay home. Uncle, auntie, this payoff may also turn into a little Ponzi scheme. because all the workers will not get it 250 grand. So I have a simple solution to help out the thousands of sugar workers, Mr. Vice President. Please let them who are distributing this money, keep all the names you distribute the money to. And I will be very happy, extremely delighted to print it in the Kaieteur News. So we will have no disgruntled workers to say how them didn't get them share, them 250 grand. Like how the people saying, the farmers, how them didn't receive the grants give out, and causing a whole uproar in the country. I told you some of them from Mahika being here and said they didn't get their money or any money. How about that, Mr. Vice President or Mr. President? Nobody can complain y'all pocket their money and only share out to y'all own people. All over to you guys. A scandal after scandal in this country going on. Uncle, I'm tired of it. Not tired of telling you it, but I'm tired of hearing it. Isn't this a sweet story? It's a very sweet story. You guys remember, man. I talked it many times on the programs. His Highness, I think I did a special program on this. His Highness, Sheikh Ahmed Dalmuk Al Maktoum from Dubai. You hear the name? Sheikh Ahmed Dalmuk Al Maktoum from Dubai came 2 times to Guyana last year and say how Guyana got the sweetest sugar in the world. I remember I was cracking up on the program when I heard that Guyana got the sweetest sugar from these gangsters. I said on that program, I don't know if some of you were listening at the time, I said on the program that India is 4 hours away from Dubai. I fly from India to Dubai. I went back to India. So I know. 4 hours, India, and Dubai. India producing and selling sugar the cheapest price on the world market. And them, that sheik, ain't going there to do sugar business. They want to come do sugar 10 trillion miles away here in Guyana. My gosh, I laughed and said on that program, I remember, Uncle, they may come here to plant cane to make sugar. They're coming here for your land and properties to carry out their real business in the oil sector, using the sugar as a bait for these leaders, these morons for leaders. And so said, so done. So said 1 year ago, it's happening right in front of our eyes. Yesterday we're hearing from the Vice President himself how the foreigners changed their minds from sugar to producing electricity with the Skeldon plant. Man, hey, I love this country, man. These morons could not envision that. They fall for everything these foreigners tell them, and they believe in them. Sugar them come for do. When leaders don't have an understanding of how business runs or operates, disaster awaits the citizens of that country. Had they had a little knowledge of how business works, they would have never accepted or allowed these crooks to come tell us we want your land to revive sugar. The vice president was so ashamed that he didn't tell the sugar workers that the sugar is a dead and rotten donkey. He tell them how the foreigners want to use the Skeldon factory to generate power to sell Guyana, and how they want high prices with long-term contracts. They might even sign that too. Trust me, they might even sign that too. Give them the factory to generate power and sign that contract too.
Yep.
Don't pass nothing by these leaders.
Exactly.
Guys, uncle and auntie, why is he even entertaining talks with these foreigners on electricity? Maybe he's not certain the gas to shore and the Amelia Falls will be able to supply Borbies with electricity. Or maybe he can take the electricity coming from them two projects and push it somewhere. There is no reason I can see a vice president bringing two major projects to supply Guyana with electricity, entertaining talks with our own Skeldon plant with foreigners. Come on, man. Come on. Uncle, you guys know that we're fetching a 200 American dollars, 200 million American dollars debt for that Skeldon plant on we back. Yes, we have that. I don't even know if we have paid a cent yet, but it comes with interest. I remember that story very well because that corn flour plant, what the Chinese make for a US company in California, them buy and bring here and reconfigure it from corn to sugar. That's the reason why he never worked one day. That 200 million plant, uncle, never up and running. The old estates were producing more sugar than that plant. Like I said, I always remember what Jagdeo said when we were reporting on the monies he said he spent on that factory. He told the nation that if he got to go himself and run that operation and get it successful, he's going to do it. When he come out of office and Ramatar take over, he tell the media, my reporter, when asked the same question, whether he will go and run the Skeldon factory and make it successful, he said he can't remember he ever said so. What a country we have. What leaders we have in this land. In passing, I spoke Monday a little on a French company coming to bring a fiber optic cable to Guyana to connect Suriname, French Guyana, and Trinidad. And we leaders ready to accept and proud to talk about it. What I don't know is that the French that France have their own French company working out there called Lall. Them want to become like ExxonMobil. Them don't want to become an operator like ExxonMobil to operate the oil blocks. All the oil blocks that they give away, them want to become like ExxonMobil. So the cable them bringing is coming to work for them and them only. Uncle, in 2 years, your oil money gonna pay out for that cable, and the French company gonna make trillions from your oil, shortening your pockets and pickney belly, and also shortening the salaries of every public servant in this country. Yes. I hope you are following me, uncle. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised you hear next month They had a company that named Sinok, the Chinese company, bringing them own fiber optic cable too. Because ExxonMobil is an American company, and ExxonMobil already have GT&T, which is an American company. Whose cable you think ExxonMobil going to use and pay? Chinese going to bring them one, and them going to pay them own Chinese company. Guys, is everything. I literally mean everything, auntie and uncle, they want for themselves in every sector of the oil business. You know, we got a local boy here, E-Networks, and the others, some others, providing the same service right here. They wouldn't use their businesses. Yes, they are not going to use our local businesses. Them must get everything. Guys, all this is part of local content, Mr. Ali, Mr. Harmon. Guyanese must be given first preference, guys. Why our leaders are even entertaining talks with this French company to bring in a fiber optic cable, when we got our own local brothers and sisters that can give that the oil companies can give the job to make some money, so that Guyana can make some money. When every Guyanese make money, Guyana makes money, because it spreads around. Mr. Harmon, Mr. Ali, if you guys don't know business, let me give you guys a heads up. Allowing foreign company to bring that cable to Guyana is only robbing our children more and more from the oil, of course. Let me break it down, uncle. If me and you get 50-50 business, and me hire me daughter, paying she $1 million per month for clean up me desk, what becomes of your profit? A big chunk of your profit gone into my daughter pocket. That's how simple this cable is. What a French company want to bring. The oil company out there going to pay them $1 million a minute to provide service, robbing us. Come on, man. Get this bell and I ring it. Ring it in them ears. Ring it in front of their faces. And say, change these things, man. They're not that stupid. It's the same thing that's going to happen to us with this new fairy tale city President Ali proud of. They're all over the place blabbering his mouth. That new city, uncle and auntie, will eat up a bigger chunk of the oil money. It will eat up all the money. And who are the owners? Not any one of us. If it was Guyanese, Lall. If it was Guyanese like Lall, man, everybody would have been proud of. If it was any other Guyanese, if the president or Granger or Harmon, we would have been proud of, because we would have been getting that money. That money, guys, will be a big chunk of your oil money. And we leader proud to announce how this fairy tale city will be in Guyana. Yes, it's coming for eat up every single cent of your all money. It's the but, guys. The but. The new city gonna look like a fairy tale. But whose fairy tale? It will be their own. The foreigners' fairy tale city, Mr. Ali and Mr. Harmon. Some of you might not even be able to go in that city. Mark my words. Some of y'all, uncle and auntie, might not even be able to go in that city. It may become a gated city with your own soldiers guarding it around. And that is the progress. That is the development these morons talking about. Them already eating up chunks upon chunks with them supply boats, remember? They're eating up chunks on these helicopter services, transportation services, now exploration, chartered flights, and plane services. You guys see how much airline already come in here, man? Who's sustaining them airlines? Yeah. Who money? Where the money coming from? Your oil. You got American Airlines, Delta Airline, JetBlue, SetBlue, the green, the red, all coming here. You know who paying for those tickets? Those 5,000 US dollar tickets for first class? Your oil money. Those are bills coming to us every single minute of the day. And the leaders proud to say, yeah, now you see how much airlines coming to Guyana? Lack the understanding of how things work, how business operates, leads to disaster, brothers and sisters, leads to hunger and starvation. I just want to give you guys a little update with the oil leak, the oil spill in California. It made and continues making international news all over the world. I looked at all the newscasts around this world. That little spill, which is 3,000 barrels of oil, just 3,000. They are now saying, today they say, it went up to 3,500 barrels. I know this will cost the company, the oil company, through their insurance, at least in the hundreds of millions of American dollars for cleanup. And that will take years. The US Coast Guard is warning that the spill will stretch miles upon miles across the beaches in California. And it will move further with the ocean current. Dead birds and fishes are washing up on the shores. Strong smell of gasoline fill the air. All the people, ecosystem is damaged and destroyed. You hear me? When we get our spill, it will not be 3,000 or 4,000 barrels, uncle. It will be in the hundreds of thousands of barrels, not 3,000 and 4,000, hundreds of thousands of barrels. That will stretch to all our neighboring countries, even reaching America. And Guyana, these leaders we have, none of them saying a word about it. And Jagdeo, the man who running this industry, has not secured full cover insurance to protect us. I don't think I don't think, Uncle, the little insurance we have will be able to cover or clean up one little village in Guyana. Let's say Lenora or me village in Wakenham that's called Caledonia. The money that we're getting from the insurance policy that we have today, Uncle, will not be able to even clean up 2 villages in Guyana, much less the country, much less other people's countries. We will sell out Guyana to Dubai or the richest country on earth, and all of we going to still owe other nations for that destruction. Trust me. Alistair Rutledge, Exxon Bassman in Guyana, I asked him that question, and I asked him, you're pumping 120,000 barrels per day. If we get a break, how fast can we stop that, correct that? He said, Glenn, well, you know, I said, I know it takes over a month. He said, no, we can do it in 7 days' time now because of new technology. That's what he was trying to tell me. And I said to him, how are you going to do that? What is there? Do you have anything in place right now? He said, well, we are working on it to see if we can bring it down from 7 days to 3 or 4 days. He just tried to tell me, he just tried to pacify, to soothe this thing away. But let's just take his word as gospel, 7 days. Or 3-4 days, right? 4 days at 120. Uncle and auntie, ladies and gentlemen, 4 days at 120 is 480,000 barrels of oil that will be spilled there. I don't buy it. I cannot trust him. I cannot trust anything from any one of the oil companies, what they say. Don't trust them at all. Nothing, not a single word I trust from them. So we are talking about 1 million barrels of oil will be spilled out there. Where is the insurance to protect ourselves? Oh boy, we have none. We have none. Uncle, auntie, I love you guys. Do we have any telephone calls? I'll take some telephone calls if you guys want. Before you take the calls, let me just put in this piece. 6 years now we find oil. And everything is wrong. Nothing is in place to safeguard us. Not even the most important things like the Petroleum Commission Bill, oil and gas legislations to properly manage, run and oversee the oil industry. Guys, not even the local content policy or law is in place to ensure Guyana benefit. Guyanese benefit first and foremost from their oil. We had 2 headlines today in the Kaieteur News. I am ashamed to read it to y'all, but I'll still read it. More TNT companies continues to flood Guyana's oil sector as country remains without a local content policy and legislation. And the second headline says, opportunities in the oil sector slipping away. Industry needs to take action soon. You know who said those words, Guyana? A man named Nicholas Boyer. He's a director on the GCCI board. He used to be the head. Now, he's speaking. I am glad that they're finding back their tongues one by one. He used to come on this radio station and he stopped coming. He stopped even responding to telephone calls to comment on what is happening in the business sector of Guyana within this oil industry. So I am happy that he's finding his tongue back one by one. He said that he received a number of complaints how locals are being sidelined, especially in the transportation sector. God bless you guys. God bless you guys. Thanks for listening. I think I've given you guys enough for the evening. Please don't forget to get that bell in your hand and ring it in the churches, ring it in the masjids, ring it in the temples, ring it when you see these leaders, and let them know that we cannot live with these one-sided, lopsided, and no-deal contracts. Plus, the prospecting license must be changed tomorrow, uncle. And I must know them interest rate that we paying on that money. Have a good night and y'all sleep well. I am still here. I'll be sitting here for a few minutes, listening to you, what you have to say. I want to hear your contribution. And I also want to hear if you have any questions. So let's get going, Josh. I'm thirsty.
Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lall Show. Hello.
Good night.
Good night to you, sir. Can you please speak up for us?
Is that Lall?
Hi, good night to you, sir. You seem to...
I think I talk too much, right? And when you talk too much, you put people to sleep or you put them in a coma. I'm sorry if I put you guys in any distress, okay? I don't want to do that, you know, but it is what it is. And you guys need to understand what is happening in plain, clear, and simple languages. Don't forget the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell like when we used to go to school. You know, when school call, you ring it, bang, bang, bang. Time to line up. Ring it, bang, 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 and get the leaders to understand time to line up.
Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Mr. Josh, good night to Mr. Lall and panel.
Raise it.
I've been watching this show for the longest time since the creation of it, and
Raise it, sir.
I can say it's very informative. It has the information that we, the general population, know that the 65 members of Parliament hides from us. Well, there's a question I have for Mr. Lall personally. Mr. Lall, what is the difference between the prospecting license and the production license? I would like you to clarify that for me, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a very simple question. Prospecting license is an agreement between you and a man to go look, to go search for anything, search for gold, search for diamond, you know, search for bauxite, search for oil. That's a prospecting agreement. It's a prospecting license with an agreement that you sign, saying, well, hey, I allow you to go there, I'll allow you to do this, and you're going to do this and that. That's how simple prospecting license is. But our prospecting license, we leaders agree to pay the people them to come and look. That no idiot in this world does. But that's fine. That can be changed, my friend. That can be changed, like I said earlier, with a stroke of a pen. Say, hey, Kaieteur and Kanji, Stabrook Block, Mr. Exxon, no more prospecting costs will be picked up by Guyana. You guys find oil already. Continue if you want at your own expense. That's how simple prospecting license is. That can change in a second. A production license is the contract A production license, when you find the oil, you set up and you're ready to bring up the oil. Then you sit down and you negotiate. You say, well, how much mango you can pick? How fast you can pick the mango? You know? And then you sit down and you work out your percentage, right? And share profit and things like that. That's the production license. Okay? And even if you sign a bad deal, that contract that I signed here, it always have something in which you can renegotiate. You can renegotiate it because, and the reason for that, you know, the reason for that, it is because, and it's good because Exxon can start pumping oil and then end up in problems. End up not getting what they were supposed to get, or can't bring up how much they said they would bring up, right? To offset costs. So what you do, you come back to Glenn and you say, Glenn, man, you know, I run into a little issue here, blah 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 blah. Could we relook at the 50-50 profit sharing? And I say, okay, come on, no problem. And you sit and you work it out. Now, Guyana realized we get a bad deal. We can call them and say, hey man, come, look at this thing you give me here, and look at what you're doing there. Come on, let's sit and let's talk it over, right? But Guyana also got more ammunition than them, because remember, we own these oil fields, and we have to renew permits and license for every field. So if Exxon said no to what they're doing there now in Lisa 1, Lisa 2, or Lisa 3, we can say, okay, no problem. I got no problem with that. When Lisa 4 come, the yellowtail come, when you bring that project on and hand us, then we say, hold your horses. Then you have them by their B. You know what the B stands for? Ball. Bumper ball where we just play. That's when the B kicks in. You hold them, you have them. And you say, talk to me now.
All
right? So that's the kind of leverage we have, brother. And that's the difference between a prospecting license and a production license, or a permit, if you want to say.
Thank you very much,
Welcome.
sir.
Welcome.
And
You're welcome.
I'm hope.
You cut him off? All right. Sorry about that. The gentleman just cut you off by mistake. Yeah.
So 226-7453 and 226-7454, those are the numbers you can call us on this evening here on the Glenn Lall Show. You know, it's at going on to 10 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. Well, we hope you're still here with us this evening.
You know, Joshua, I read something that made me laugh this morning. And allow me to share it. If you get a call, just take it. Take it, right?
Caller, good evening. Welcome to the Glenn Lall Show. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I want to talk to Mr. Glenn Lall, please.
Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Glenn Lall. Mr. Glenn.
Go ahead.
I respect you.
We can't hear you.
After 1 minute, I got to call you in the next show, all right? Because my credit's finished. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's take the other call.
I didn't get to hear what he said. Go ahead.
Caller, good evening. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Yeah, good night. I'm on the Glenn Lall Show.
Yes.
Right. I want to talk a little about this sugar and this grant that Mr. Jagdio say. I don't call him doctor because he's not a doctor. Honorary degree is not recognized. He should not put the R in front of his name. So I can call him Mr. Jagdio, right?
That's fine.
I don't think people understand that in Guyana. The academic world don't understand. He's
Let's
not
get
a
going.
doctor.
Let's get going.
Yeah. I think this $250,000 he give them is that they're closing down the estate.
Yes, I said that.
No. I am just saying that And these people don't understand that it is being closed down. They think it's a grant they're getting, just like how they're giving the pensioners a $25,000 grant, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Thank you. Thank you.
The other
Go ahead.
The other point I want to make is about Guyana can stop this oil production now because against the constitution, as Glenn Lall was saying, we give them 600 blocks instead of 60 blocks.
Perfect.
And therefore they ain't got no license and PSA or anything. We can stop this oil production immediately.
Exactly. I agree with you.
No, so I don't know why is it big fun that the PPP, but I think they all now are members of ExxonMobil and they are partners or shareholders.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to believe they're the same family.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thanks for your call. Yes, let me share this thing with you guys. This morning I saw it. It's a photo with a big breed dog saying bow bow bow. You didn't hear me barking? Anyway, your gate gone. Well, I have been barking, Guyana. Uncle, I have been barking years now. I hope y'all island gone like the gate. What did dog carry away? Josh, you get a call?
No.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Glenn Lall.
Yes, sir.
How are you guys? Happy.
Let's get going.
All my Hindu brothers and sisters.
All right.
My question to you, Mr. Glenn Lall. You claim that Mr. Bara Jagdev is smart in the oil and gas sector more than you and your team. I beg to differ. He have the privilege to more information than you and your team. There is no way he's smarter than anyone. If you think that way, then I think I'm a fool.
I hear you. I sometimes want to give them the benefit of the doubt, my friend. After all, they are still our leaders. All right.
No, you said they're
I could tell you though, if I have access to those information that is going to them, man, I don't think they will last a month. I don't think the PPP, the PNC, the AFC will last a month as leaders in this country. All right?
Okay.
Do you have any question? Because we are running out of time.
Yes, my next question to you, Mr. Glenn Lall. I saw an article today in the papers where the Trinidadian are getting financed by the Trinidadian banks to do business in Guyana. And the Guyanese are struggling to move up the ladder in the oil and gas sector. What is our leaders going to do to help them?
Can I ask them that question and get back to you on Friday?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. All right?
All right, thank you. Good
Thanks
night,
for
my
calling.
brother.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Guys, I am being signaled to get off the air. They have another program on the way. So let me just say good night and God bless. Hope you guys have captured the important stuff that I've said tonight. Peace.